Yodi ho ho ho, what's going on everybody? This is Hunter. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. Today, I have got a pretty darn interesting toy hauler for you. I think you guys are going to really like it. It's the 2025 Rogue Armored Vengeance 351 G2. I believe that is right. I got the sticker there right there. I got a little bit of allergies kicking in again. But yeah, 351 G2, and this is a really nice little setup. I'd kind of call it like it's a 13-foot toy hauler to begin with, but it's kind of got like a 1 3/4 bath because the rear bath is a second bath. However, it is a wet bath, so it's a really interesting use. Instead of just having, your typical toilet, you got kind of a spray me off kind of zone, which I think works really well. Now, as far as the specifications are concerned, the rest of them will be down in the description, but right off the bat, you have the dry weight of 13,479 pounds with a cargo carrying capacity of just under 3,900 pounds. And then overall GVWR, 17,435. So this isn't exactly a monster. It's also not tiny either. You're gonna have things like your generator and all of that. And I'll go ahead and show all of that during this tour, probably about 15 to 20 minutes. So if this is your first time tuning into the channel, I appreciate you being here. Please consider hitting that like and subscribe button. And if not, at least drop a comment and help me push this video out to more and more people. Now tonight, I'm here after hours. It's about 8 o'clock, so starting to get to the point where it's going to start getting dark soon. But I'm at Funtown RV's PDI facility in Elkhart, Indiana. So this is where they go through and check all the campers and make sure everything's on the up and up prior to shipping it out, to any of their various locations across the country. So it's pretty darn nice. They're one of the few dealerships in the country that do that. But again, it's the 2025 Vengeance 351 G2, most commonly known as the the Rogue Vengeance. But when you walk in, I think the decor on this is very nice. One, I've always been a sucker for these lights. They're not brand new to the game, but I think they just look super nice. And you got kind of the cream colored walls with the darker outlines of the slides with the, obviously the aesthetics there of like the refrigerator, microwave, and oven. I just think it looks really sharp. Plus you have this nice kind of clear, crisp white countertop space, which is going to be solid surface. Babe, if you're watching, I love you. But I mean, what do you guys think about that? And then, ooh, look at that. That caught my eye. It's kind of like it is not kind of like, it's like an etched mirror. It's pretty darn cool. You can see the bowling gun right there. But man, that's pretty neat. I dig that. But it's got one of my, in a toy hauler at least, one of my more favorite kitchens. It's not quite the U-shape that I personally like the most, but it's pretty darn close because you get kind of like, enough room in the kitchen for one chef, but you also have a really functional space that's more conducive to maybe now like talking with your guests that are sitting over here in the slide out with your recliners. And I really like how each and every one of those, reclines as well. Tall, high slides, and to save a little bit of money, they have the box frame. However, since it's for the recliner, it's not going to get in the way of anything because you're never putting your foot underneath a seat just to sit down. And I'm stepping up in it. You got the slide height, probably around 6'10" would be my best guess. You have the zebra shades. So I know some of you guys, don't like those. I personally don't mind them, but it is what it is. You got half Dracula, full Dracula. I know for a fact Beetlejuice would like them. And then you have the mirrored reflective finish for the windows. So each and every window here does open up for a nice breeze. So I'll come back through and open up everything in the kitchen here in a little bit, the TV. But since this is a toy hauler, I figured if that doesn't work for you, you might not watch the rest anyway. So right off the bat, what they do a little bit differently, as I think from the AT&T party, the Funtown RV party down at the Cow's Cowboy Stadium, the rep, first time I ever did a video, he said this was a Durapoxy, something like that. But basically, it's a different type of flooring. And the reason why they switched to it is because of the fact that it doesn't absorb oil, which is nice. Because if you're playing around with your toys, you don't want any of those oils to be like staining up your really nice toy hauler. 9 different tie downs. I believe they have a 2,500 pound weight rating. But you'll definitely want to check that out as well. Make sure you ask your salesperson. Last thing I want to do is kind of mislead you by any means. You have a pull down queen size bed right here. So all you got to do, is just grab this and then, kind of gorilla yank it down. You see you're on the strut system. Then you have the rollover sofas here too as well. And then obviously you can lift those up and get them out of the way too. But I'd imagine like a picnic table or something like that would go pretty darn nice. Now, since it is getting a little bit late and I have about 4 more units, so I'm probably already going to be here until about midnight, and I got an 8 a.m. shoot with Gulfstream tomorrow, I didn't take the time to set up the patio, so I apologize to that. But basically, it just goes all the way up and around. I mean, we've all seen a patio before. You can use your imagination there. But pretty darn cool spot just to come out here, kick back, relax, play some cards and chill. They are using the Lippert Three Seasons patio door. So this is, Three Seasons patio door. It's a nice screened-in area, but it's pretty darn easy to, take down and put up. It's just as easy as that. You just pull that, and now it's snapped back in. So pretty darn nice. All right, so you got window, window, window. And then right up here is pretty darn interesting because right now it's all kind of blocked off. Really good for like storage. Nothing's going to be rattling around in it because obviously you see that space right there. But then you can grab this, and now you can get any of your stuff out of it. You got a place where you can put a ladder to get up into it. But now it is a good sleeping space. And I would presume, I don't see a weight rating sticker on here, but I would go ahead and guess that this is probably about 300 pounds or so. So you'll want to double check on that for sure. Since it's not written down in here, I don't want to steer you wrong. You also have a place where you can maybe, hang up a couple hoodies. And then you have the backup camera here for the garage itself there too as well. You have prep for washer and dryer with 2 outlets. And then you're also going to have your wet bath back here. So this is what I was saying, like 1 3/4 bath. Pretty darn nice. You also have, bada bing, bada boom, the old Steamer Stink Sucker 3000 right here. And then a porcelain foot flush throne in here as well. So we're doubling up on the love today. Man, I'm surprised there actually is a porcelain throne in there. Typically, if you're going to have a wet bath, and it's not a small wet bath either. I mean, I'm 6 foot, 300 pounds. You could actually shower in this as a, rather large and handsome man. You could do that. You could do that. That's something you could do here in the Vengeance. That's nice. So it's a wet bath with a toilet, not a toilet with a wet bath, I guess would be, the way to say it, because that's usually how it goes. It's usually like a toilet that you have to sit down and just get sprayed upon. Not ideal, that's for sure. But that one, if you're going to have it, it's going to be the best of the situation. All right, so a little bit of storage here up top. You also have the magnet right there, and then obviously, your TV. Let's see if this is on a swivel. It is not on a swivel. It is a fixed TV. But again, doesn't matter. There's only really one viewing port, which, would be just like this. But it's the Sansui, so it's my favorite TV to say, the old Sansui. You're also going to have your sound bar, and you also have a fireplace that puts out about 4,800 BTUs of heat, heat up your camper. We already saw the sofa, but just giving you another little look. I do like the lighting system there. But you got heat, lights, and massage there too as well. All right, so let's move over here more towards the kitchen. And starting off, if you're someone that likes to collect just stuff, me and my wife, we just like to get stuff, just stuff everywhere. And then you stress about it and you throw all the stuff away that you never used. That's what I think that those drawers would be good for. You're going to have a slide out, so dual opposing slides. That's what's giving you all this good walk around room, which I think is pretty pinkies up, pretty highfalutin. But if you're someone that likes to drink, which I know most campers don't like to, you do have a place to put your bottles. Or maybe, you're a connoisseur of olive oil. You got a place for that as well. A 12-volt refrigerator. Perfect place to show off the old bowling gun. But look at that. You don't see that every day. So I don't know if this is a split. I've never seen this one. 17 cubic foot. I don't know if it's a freezer on the left, refrigerator on the right, but it wouldn't make sense because you have freezer down here on the bottom. It's making that noise. I can't, that thing is latched on, but you have a freezer down there at the bottom. Sorry for the noise. I'm not sure where the heck that is coming from right here. Okay, there you go. It's coming from the refrigerator, so just had to click that off. But you have the 3 top burner. Actually, let me just see if I can get this off here. Holy smokes. All right, so right here you have your freezer and then more of a section. Hopefully that quits making noise, but I'm not a big fan of that. So you have the Innovision right here, and you're going to have your baked potato, your beverage, and then your reheat as well. You have an oven that is going to be a little bit larger than average, so you can get doing a little bit of cooking. And then you also have your stainless steel bowl, the TikTok sink, where you have the waterfall, a place for soap, a little cup cleaner, and then a high-rise faucet right here, hitting those dishes from all angles. You're also going to have USB Universal C, a couple outlets, more outlets here, and then, I mean, you got virtually outlets all over the place. And then you got plenty of overhead storage here too as well, so pretty darn nice. All right. Other than me not knowing how to work that new style of fridge, pretty darn nice. All right, so you got the auto detect right here with your disconnect, or not your disconnect, your fuse box. So basically that'll glow up nice and red for you if something is not working in the camper. You're going to have your two slide outs, your front awning and your rear awning. Your lighting is also going to be on dimmers here too as well. You're also going to see all your lighting structure and a place for all of your tank fills along with your tank heater. So that's going to be a 12-volt pad that goes on the bottom of your tanks to help out, heat your camper when it's a little bit cooler. You got a couple steps heading up into the door. You also have the grab handle here. And then, bada bing, bada boom. Another porcelain foot flush throne. I like how they say it's the spa shower system. It's pretty classic corner radius shower. Wow, okay, never mind. Never mind, they got me. I was about to be negative. That's why you never be negative. I mean, look at that. It's pretty darn cool. And then you got enough room, to shower around. It's close. If I was a little bit fatter, I'd probably be taping sponges to the walls, but not that bad. Another mirror, another gun. You also got the stainless steel there. Bada bing here. All right, so sorry about the break in the action here. So you're going to get dual entry here into the bedroom. You have an entrance here, and then you have an entrance here. And what is nice about this is it's a pretty darn unique setup here in the bedroom. One, you have a king-size bed. Let's see if there's going to be storage underneath because it is on a slide. Yep, you got some storage there up underneath. And then you have the headboard that comes down with cup holders. So you can put this up in like snuggle mode or obviously put it away. And then you have a projector right here as well, and then a 15K AC there too as well. But it's going to be a 4K projector. You're going to use the Dracula shade that stops the old skin from sizzling typically, but now it's also going to be the backdrop for your TV. So pretty darn nice. And I did see one of those in action late at night at the AT&T show, and it was pretty darn nice. You also have a place where you can put some of your hidden stuff, maybe like a gun or something like that. But then you're going to get 6 pull-out drawers, and then whoosh, you also get yourself a really nice size closet here as well. You got some hanging room. You got plenty of cubbies, so you get your, all of your wife's stuff, your wife's stuff, your wife's stuff, your wife's stuff, wife's stuff, my stuff right there. And then we're back to the wife, baby. And then you're also going to have you don't need a TV projector, but you do have a place where if you want to put a traditional TV, you can plug everything in. But all right, guys, drop a comment. Let me know what you think. Now I'm going to head around the outside, just kind of show you what everything is looking like out there. That'll only probably be about 2-3 minutes or so. But again, it's the 2025 Vengeance Rogue Armored 351 G2. And again, I'm down at Funtown RV's PDI facility, so I'm going to put that link down in the description along with the specifications. But man, really nice pass-through storage here up front. It also shows off that aluminum frame construction there too as well. And you got a couple like little maintenance hatches right there to get in and take care of all your stuff. Propane behind this door. You're also going to have a little bit of storage for your batteries, and then that goes into the front that we just saw. And this is going to be your generator. So 6,000 watt generator, so pretty darn beefy generator there for you. Molded fiberglass front cap, and I like how it's got that kind of aggressive approach to it. So this actually is a pretty good sized little dip right there, which I think is pretty darn cool. I like the LED lights. And then you've got prep for the 3-camera safety system. You also have the mirrored reflective finish for the windows, so you can kind of see it right there. It is pretty darn snazzy. You also have a really nice size awning here too as well. 12-volt pads there up underneath. And then it's also a laminated sidewall construction as well. Okay, nice. Yeah, there you go. Laminated slide wall on the slide outs too as well. So you got your Goodyear tires. Oh, it's got that kind of blue sparkling look right there. I think that's pretty darn nice. But Goodyear tires, you're also going to have the tire pressure monitoring system as well with an LP quick connect, so that way you can hook up a grill. You also have a little leash latch for your furry friend and a second awning over here. You're also going to see the backup camera prep located right there, so that way you can see what's going on behind you with your distance marker. So basically it's got a 4-camera safety system, one inside the garage, outside the garage, left and right. And then if you want to get crazy, you could probably put one above the door too as well. You're gonna have a fuel station, so 30-gallon fuel station. So you got your pump right here, so that way you can get things moving and grooving when you're down at the campground. Maybe you're ripping some 4-wheelers or something fun like that. Sewer outlet connection located right there. And then, yeah, that's where you plug in the camper. That's where you dump the gray water, the fresh water. You also have your tankless on-demand hot water heater located right there. And then you have your docking station, which is pretty darn cool. Hot and cold water in the form of an outside shower. And then your tank flush right there. And then obviously, you got your potable water, and things of that nature. Control for your leveling, which is going to be an electric auto level. And then propane over here. But all right, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed the tour. I hope to catch you next time. Again, it's the 2025 Vengeance Rogue Armored 351 G2. My name is Hunter. Have a great day. See you.